Welcome to the grand finale. We have Exosister versus Sword Soul. I know, what the heck is going on? This is crazy. We got the deck type breakdowns of both decks where we could see how everyone is playing the deck with the averages, a recent tournament deck topping, or you could even look at the best versions of the deck. This is a pro feature for the highlight, but you can click on the decks individually anyway. So this is a quick little look at Sword Soul, and after we looked at the Exosister deck type. So let's see how Sword Soul is looking like to see if it's going to be similar to what we see in the grand finale here. A good sample deck, and a lot more tournament tops. If we look at the tier list, we could see that Sword Soul is tier 2, so it is favored to win this, while Exosister is nowhere to be seen. Now you may be thinking, what the heck, Car Curry and Pendulum Magician, the Asian player tournaments, they're going ham. Car Curry is basically just summon a Rorodon and win. Now, with that said, get ready. Game 1 of the grand finale, Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
And if you enjoy this grand finale, do consider to watch the top 16 and top 8, top 4 videos as we're putting up the whole tournament, everything together onto YouTube. We're going to open up with Martha's special summon, and then we're going to also be special summoning Monster from the Hand, Elise. So we got 3 bodies on the field, which is going to be great because we're going to not have used up our normal summon here. So if we search with a Castapel, we're going to be able to exceed with the Martha to make our main boss monster. The main goal of the deck is going to be summon our Magnifica. Now, Effect Veiler is trying to negate the search. We're going to call by the grave, negate the negate, and we're good. Let's go. Now, the boss monster is so nutty. Magnifica has the ability to jump off the field into being able to banish a card in the field and also non-target banish. So she's essentially double banish. We are going to, because Call by the Grave was used and we moved a card from the opponent's graveyard, the Martha activates off of that Call by the Grave, so we could save the Martha in the hand, and now we make it Magnifica. There is an option where we could, if we wanted to, not for the follow-up, we could just normal summon that Martha just to have an extra body on the field. That's really greedy though, it's really going all in, but it ensures that if anything moves from either player's graveyard, that Martha, in addition to the rest of your field, is also going to activate. Now, in addition to that, we have Returnia. Now, Returnia performs a second banish if you performed an Exceed summon. The Magnifica will perform an Exceed summon through her effect and a non-target banish. So between the Magnifica and the Returnia, that's banished 4 cards. Good luck. Ashuna special summon. That is going to be our first of 3 more banishes. Triple Tactics Talent is going to take control non-targeting of a monster your opponent controls. So what we're going to do is we're going to make Michaelis, and this could be confusing. I know if you don't understand how this works, we're going to take control of it, and the turn it's Exceed summoned, it could activate the banish a card in the field. So you may be thinking, why did they do this? Well, if we left the Magnifica on the field with a material, they could also use Magnifica and attack with it. Okay, how about return it back to the extra deck and then don't Exceed? That is an option, but then it's 2,800 attack, which maybe we're afraid of getting lethal, because we know next turn we have a Martha play, which we want to just survive. So if the idea is just to survive, we want to give them a defense position, Exceed. So they also can't Zeus, not that Sword Soul would be playing Zeus, but this is kind of the safer play. It does get to banish one of your back row, though. Alrighty, the Returnia is dead, by the way. It can't even use Returnia, so if they banish the Returnia, that's a plus. Goodbye to impermanence. So we just have 1 imperm, and that's it. If you don't have an Exosister, you cannot activate Returnia. Moyi, reveal, imperm, negate, and we're gonna have to give back the Michaelis. Uh-oh. Poke for 17, and then give it back. That is not good for Sword Soul. Into attack position we go. Activate, summon the Martha and the Elise in the deck. Sophia, draw 1. Michaelis going to be searching for a spell or trap. We got Vadis for the next turn, if there even is a next turn. Make it Michaelis. McAllis could banish a card from the opponent's graveyard to trigger the Martha. Martha could then activate after a card has been moved from the graveyard to make a Gabrine. Gabrine could boost up the field plus 800 attack, including newly exceed summoned cards. That's going to be Magnifica. 28 is going to now be 3,600 attack with the double attack. Using Returnia instead of Magnifica's non-target banish. Double attack, lethal damage, finishing off Sword Soul for game 1. Very nice. Very nice. Now, before we hop into game 2, there is a theory that decks have what's called the waifu tax. Does Exosister have the waifu tax? Is it more expensive on average? I'm just going to look at the sample decks. We have 870 UR versus Sword Soul 780. So, it's about 100 more UR, even though, Mo Yi, I would argue, is quite the waifu. All right, let's hop into game number 2. I'm a victim of the waifu tax. Ecclesia jumping off the field into the Mo Yi. We do have impermanence for that negate. Negate the Mo Yi. And, wow, negate our whole turn. Keck, wait, that sucks. Well, Ash, you always want to save for a Martha. That is what I believe the best thing to use it for. Not on the packs! Okay. And we'll see if he regrets that. We do have Valor now. Sophia, special summon the Elise. Sophia going for that draw 1. We could negate the Castapel so they don't even get to a Martha. Right? Yep. It feels like we're just activating on the first thing activatable on. Besides, the Sophia, obviously we would not want to negate a draw 1. Well, we're going to have to deal with the Max C. We are Zeusing. Martha locks you out of being able to summon Zeus. Well, we did Martha, so this is valid. We have Imperm, we have a bluffed, evenly matched, Pot of D, playing around triple tactics talent here. Everyone's playing the TTT, which Konami, if you're listening, there needs to be a pack bundle for TTT right now. Pot of D, what did we banish? Did we lose any hard one-ofs? We lost our one of Protos. We lost our, okay, that's pretty much our only hard one-of we lost. Wow. We didn't even, we were under Max C, so we didn't want to Vajutta, then spin back. We're chilling. Zeus in attack. I can't believe we have no play. What is going on? If we drew into a Martha, she would be activatable because it's only if there's no monsters or exceeds. Special summon the Ashuna. We're going to link this off into the Monk of Tenyi. Ashuna, special summon from the deck. Come forth. Adhara. Adhara into the Monk. We are going to then Adhara add back our Ashuna. Where are we going with this? Vashuda is going to banish, spin back the Zeus. Zeus not wanting to wipe out their own fields. And it's Monk beatdown. What the Monk is going on? Imperm. So this is an interesting situation. Do you set your Imperm in a row where you could Imperm negate it, but then if they have Imperm, their Imperm negates your Imperm, but you don't have anything impermable on your field. You cannot Imperm and Imperm if you have Monks on your field because they have no effect to negate. Oh my Jesus. You couldn't Imperm and then do it. Uh-oh. All right. Pax get searching for the Martha. This is a pretty good Max C. It's a draw 2. Draw 2. It's a summon, and then they could exceed, and then we stop there. All right. I mean, I don't know. I feel like my money is on Exosister for this duel. Is this a 2-0? McAllis is here on summon. We're going to not activate anything. So you wait for the spell speed 1 to detach and search. This is ideal. And then we're going to chain, banish a card on the field or in the graveyard. We're going to chain the called by onto the Sophia. Works out. Works out. Very good. This is why do not, unless your opponent's forcing you, do not on summon activate to banish, because if they imperm, you then lose your ability to search. And then you also lose your banish. You lose 2 effects in 1. This works out. And the turn, Stella, no good. She can't do anything with the Stella. And wow, we only have impermanence. The McAllis is just no effect. She is a blank. She is a dark magician. We're going to be banishing to come forth and Shokan Vishuddha into, now we are using the Ecclesia into the Taya. Taya banishing from the graveyard. Are we negating from summoning a token? Yes, we are. Now, Imperm's got the great benefit of not turning on the triple tactics talent, also not being called by the Graveable. We got Shaman of 10 Yi. Discard a card, reborn a worm from the graveyard. Now, monster summon for the extra deck for this turn cannot activate. On the attack of a non-effect monster, the Shaman will destroy a card on the field. We are beat down and into lethal damage. Game 3. All right, we swapped up. Irene, place an Exosister in the deck, draw 1. Ooh, that was a good draw. Wow, can you imagine? Imperming the Irene was the correct play. Pax into the Sophia, special summon, draw 1. We got Cast a Spell. Cast a Spell into a Martha, which is going to be negated. So we just have Returnia. Returnia, Imperm, okay. Returnia is just going to be banished 1 card in the field. We have Elise just to have that extra body on the field. Makes sense. So what we're really hoping for is for Elise to be triggered in some way where a card from either player's graveyard by the opponent's own effect is moved to trigger Elise to perform an Exceed Summon, because only if you perform an Exceed Summon will Returnia not only banish, but also banish again. Otherwise, it's just going to be banished 1, and we have Imperm, and we have Ash, and the cards are doing nothing beyond that. Shuna special summon. When do we want to play? Are we holding on to the Returnia, hoping that they trigger our card? Vishuddha special summon. To battle we go. Goodbye to the Elise, so the dream is dead there. We are going to now Ashuna in the main phase 2. Ash, negate. Now, it's worth noting we have not used up our normal summon. So for all we know, there could be a secret Mo Yi or Taya in the hand. There is an Ecclesia. As we make our monk, Returnia banishing the Vishuddha. All right. Now, it's like, what? Well, the Vishuddha could spin back the Cast a Spell, and then the Returnia is not activatable. You need an Exosister to use it. So we really did not want Cast a Spell to be dealt with. Imperm, negate. Now, we're not in too bad of a spot here. We're actually, this is fine. Cast Spell, search for Martha, then we win. But the Protos. The Protos is going to be summonable by banishing 3 monsters with different attributes from the graveyard or face up. So we got Water, we got Earth, we got Light. We're screwed. So we're going to link them off first. And that is the triple attribute banish. Declaring light. Light monsters are now legal. Light cannot be special summoned. Oh boy. Hey, welcome. Could have used you last turn. Oh no, that's it. Protos carrying Sword Soul against Tearlament. Protos defeating the Exosisters. This is the end. Surely, we got the damage, right? 1, 2, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000, 7,000. What the heck? We couldn't lethal that? Did we already Shaman? We didn't have anything in the graveyard to discard for Shaman? What the? Could it be like Protos? Oh, that wouldn't work. Evenly matched, banishing everything but the Protos. And this is the end. The final blow from Shatana. Back to Fortnite. Damn. Who has ever seen Shatana for lethal? I have not. Well, good job, Redden. Sword Soul taking out Exosister. Let's do it. This is it. This is the top deck list of the top 16, which we're very quickly going to go over and maybe talk a little bit about the tier list and my expectations going forward with the new meta that's going to be happening this week. Top 16 breakdown. Let's do it. Branded Despia, one of them being Tearlaments, which we are separating on the tier list by Branded Tearlament and Branded Despia, so they will be separate. 2 Dragon Link, Sprite, and a Tri-Brigade Sprite, so that's also going to be separate on the tier list. Double Sword Soul, double Tearlament, Adamancipator, Buster Blader. Holy moly, is the meta diverse, and will it become even more diverse with the new cards coming out next week? So, or this week, that is. If we look at the tier list, Sprite has what? Sprite is now above tier limit right now. Are you kidding me? Well, I guess if you want to be, you know, like the tier limit as a whole, technically branded tier is using tier limit. So I don't know how you would want to think about that if you still think tier limit as a whole is better than Sprite, because branded tier and tier limit, that's 18 power to 16. Tri-Brigade Sprite, not quite on here, but they're probably very close to being on here also. And Fur Hire is also another very good Sprite deck that would be adding even more power onto Sprite, because they are, they're playing Sprite, Fur Hire, and Runic. But beyond that, very interesting that what they did to tier limit was enough to still keep it as a strong tier 1 deck, but no longer an oppressive tier 0, which we didn't really see that in TCG or OCG. TCG went from tier 0 to just off the tier list, gone, slaughtered. OCG, I did think they went from like tier 0 to tier 0 to tier 0 to just off the tier list. So Master Duel doing it a little bit differently. Maybe Konami has some regrets with how they restricted the deck in the physical card games. Now doing what they wanted to do in Master Duel. Who knows? Copium, Master Duel is a more balanced game, right? All right, now let's get to the top deck list very quickly, and I'll talk about the new box also. Starting off with Shelmy using Tri-Brigade Sprite, anything non-standard I'm not going to have too much commentary on, so I should say anything that's too standard I won't have any good commentary on, because we have Animand with Rika. All right, looking standard, clean, very good to see. And it's Anohana. This is not standard, and I'm very happy to see it. I want to try something like this. I like it. Looks good. Interesting. Let's keep on going. Terra Mare with the Luna Light tier limit. Technically, we could, if you want, we would separate this as Luna Light tier, but maybe this should just be considered tier limit. You tell me how much you want things to be separated. You don't want to be too crazy. Well, we want a good snapshot of the meta on the tier list. Here's the extra deck. Here is the main deck. Now, we have Sword Soul, Herratic. Herratic, looking standard. We'll be comparing this, as much as I could remember, with the first place deck list. Playing DD Crow over Bystial. A lot of people thought that the Bystials are just straight up a power creep over DD Crow. DD Crow could hit non-monsters. DD Crow does not require them to have a monster on their field to use. So in a lot of ways, DD Crow could just be better. Now, moving on, we have Vector, 43 card to be dealing with the Branded Fusion hit to 2, is now playing Allure Darkness at 3. All right, interesting. I've seen a lot of people play Lubellion at 3, but then if you keep loading up on all of the main engine cards, you don't have room for Max C, you don't have room for Super Poly. No Mood Dragon in the extra for the Super Poly, but just at 2, and we got plenty of options. Let's keep on going. Pariah Life of the 40 card tier. We have Seamare and the Reinforced in the Army. Why this is better than TCG is because opening up Rhinoheart is better than Sharon in Master Duel because of Max C. It's so much easier just Rhinoheart, kick Kalos, end, where in TCG you want to always open up Sharon. So let's go. That is the extra deck. We got the Winda with a Shadow Beast in there. Moving on, Scar Black, Sky Striker. How did you get in the top 16, mate? Okay, Bystial, Sky Striker. Here's the extra. That is the main. Let's keep on going. And then pushing 45 cards. Anything non-standard here. I'm looking anything crazy, looking quite standard. And then we have Dotard, Napoli, Diva, and Beaver. Which one's better? Well, Dotard decided to play both. Why not? More starters. And here is the extra deck. Beyond the Diva, everything looking standard. Moving on, we have Fictinium with the 40 card Madolche Vernisilith Bystial. Triple Super Poly. It got to the point where opponents were playing around Super Poly. They would have opportunities to get another monster on the field alongside their boss monster, but they're like, no. Victinium keeps blowing me out with the Super Poly. I'm going to chill. Moving on, we have Kyo, 60 card Vernis Naturia Adamancipator. Let's zoom out for the deck. Alrighty. Does anyone think that the Naturia tree was unfairly hit in the TCG? Limited to 1. And then they all moved on to Fur Hire. And Naturia's not really doing anything in Master Duel. What's going on with that? Does Master Duel players don't know how to play Naturia well enough or what? And then we have 60 card branded tier. I think we could agree that this should be its own deck type. It should not go under Branded Despia. It should not go under Tearlament. I think it would be unfair to give it to one of the deck types and not the other as far as it goes for the tier list. So here's a 60 card deck. Let's scroll down a little bit. Here is the rest of the deck. It's a lot in one picture. Let's keep on going. Boda, 60 card Dragon Link. We got the Assault Synchron, which is quite interesting. And what else is interesting here? We got the Nibiru's. People don't expect it. Boda's been putting in work with the Effect Veiler. A lot of people were just getting blown out by Veiler. Veiler is big, especially with the Bystials. They try to call by the grave the Veiler. You then banish it with the Bystial. Here is the extra deck. Let's keep on going. Second place, Valiru. This is Exosister with Zorora. A lot of people not playing Zorora. 25% played, 75% not playing it. Well, here we are clapping with it, so good job to you. Redden Jude 10. Your winner, 42 cards, Sword Soul, double Heavenly Dragon Circle. More ways to search for your Protoss. Protoss wins games. It's too good. Triple Veiler, triple Imperm. Nice. Very, very nice. Very well done. Good job to Redden.